Uh-huh. Manners respect people. How you guys all doing? Hope all is well. Still cool, but feel a little better again. It's better than frozen. People, it's Friday night, chill and relax night. Just because you're chill and relaxing, I mean, say you can't learn. Right, people? Just because you're chill and relaxing, I mean, say you can't learn. Because anything you're doing, you can't learn. Anywhere you're there, you can't learn. People learn, got prison, go gain them masters. So, if a person can go to prison and gain them masters, that definitely proves that you can learn anywhere you're there. And it's for you to learn anywhere you're there. As long as you have a brain, well, your brain always get information. Now it's what the person does with the information them get. Make them be successful or per se fail. Uh, Again, it's March, so happy birth month to all of the March people them. All of the people them will have birthday today. All of the people them will have birthday coming up. What it is to share. Good morning, good afternoon, have a nice day. Because if you don't have nothing good to share, you can always share a smile. And a smile is something where everybody have. So if you don't want to share on a smile, then you can always share bad news, bad art, bad feelings, bad. Never good, good, good. Right? People, there's so much what you say, things are going in the world on a daily basis. Again, you can get bombarded with so much information and not really mean nothing. Or you can just say, all right, I go listen what I go on over the easy jerk curl and see what kind of things him up to. People, I'm tell you say the things them when me always try is educate. That's why I'm say the program them I'm do is like education. Educate each other, learn from people, learn about things, reason. All of the things them where I don't know, man. It's so important, but we just don't do. And if it's so important, why don't we do it? No reason why we not do it. Many people don't understand themselves. That's one. Many people don't care about understanding themselves. Some people don't want to. That's why I'm saying them things here, it's not for this generation, it's for next generation. Because this generation already tie into the money thing. Right? Money. I am not saying money is not important. I'm gonna say if me have certain amount of money right now, trust me, more than nice. Because then I could have expand my business. And expanding the business is to make money, right? So I am not saying money is not important, but if money is the only thing, which means you do anything to get money, and when you don't have it, you look for take other people money and stuff like those. That's why I say when you go out of your way for like scam people out of their money and them things there, right? I am just saying people do things that they do and then say they have to do it. But in time they get catch and the judge said 20 years, them now want to do that. He said unity, respect, ambition. If we did a focus on that in a Philly community, we wouldn't have to worry about money, you know. I'm gonna tell you, say everybody them show all money stay in a everybody community, right? Because in a feeding community, them have business and them support each other. We talk about going to do some functions and see oh like pretty much a pure family there. One and two friends, but pretty much it's the family and then get together and support each other. You know, I'm gonna say if you don't have no family, there's always community, right? There used to be community where you can people get together. You have church, you have community center. There's so much different ways where people them have organization or people used to be part of. We had business to take care of. Nowadays, there is no business to take care of. So we just worry about other people' business. And not in a good sense worry about other people' business. In a sense of I just want to drive by there and see if them closed down yet. Or one person said, boy, see me buy one pair of socks over there. Yeah man, them socks they no good, no up. Before the person will finish say what them must say. They might tell the person say your business is no good. I tell you now, we we people have so much pent up anger towards each other. But I don't really think say it's towards each other no. It's just pent up anger that's not ours. Right? And I feel we pent up anger. We just our whole life we've been always been in a situation where we have to fight ourselves out of. Right? And when I and that me say when I look upon it, we don't own anything. Right? That's one of the things myself. We have no ownership of anything. We don't own like when I say we have like my dad said them have YMCA around for years, centuries them have YMCA around. We don't have a YMCA. When I say we need like just a YMCA, me just I use YMCA as an example. So we never have a YMCA where we can say, okay, let's go to the YMCA and the YMCA has program running to better people and things like that. Our group, our community. It's just there's nothing for us. There's nothing for we, nothing for we. I said Jamaica should have like 4 or 5 museum. for the richness of Jamaica. I think that there should be more unity. All are in the same boat, similar circumstances. But when I see that, we see brands. we see brand. 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 Name brand. New brand. All you see is brand. Jordan brand, Nike brand, Adidas brand, Gucci brand. Those are the only brand that matters. And the more expensive it is, the more famous you are. Well, people, whenever I stop by, me always stop by with information. Education. Education. Okay, so this is one. This is one of the things myself will talk about. It's how we treat each other. If we have love for each other, respect each other, right? So I tell you, every day, it's like the connections of of the book. Every page have one chapter, right? And then you can connect it to a next page. You know, them did have this series called yeah, the same alchemy. I'm gonna tell you, say one of them, one of the time how them figure out the book, them just toss the book all over the place, and the book come together. So, in a some ways, it's like me I toss the book, right? Me I toss the book so it can come together. And it's not easy, people. You see the part of your tech is never an easy part, unless you just run with the crew in the same direction, and then you just run mindless. You don't know where them are turn which part them are. But when you take your part, you chop your part, you cut your part, you create your part. I'm going chop my part before and it get bush up, and I have to chop my part again. But again, when you have the willingness to learn, get better, understand, it's worth it. Capiche? All right. A Friday, people. We just um we just make some delicious saltfish with butter bean and kale with some pumpkin rice. Delicious. We have to eat healthy, people. No matter what we do, that's bad. Drinking, smoking, snacking, and we still have to put in the healthy in it. We can't just say, oh well, forget that. Right, people? The same time you're healthy, you're happy, I trust me, anytime I don't feel good, trust me, I'm miserable. When me not pain, I'm miserable. No one talk on the phone, talk to nobody at all. Me just want to get better. Because people are going to say, oh, and all of them things, no, sir. So usually if me sick, I don't really tell nobody. I kind of sort it out myself. Because unless you sort it out yourself, I don't really tell people And you tell the wrong person all them want is for you to be in that state. Cause you know, say I know everybody want good for you know people. That's a one thing me guarantee in this existence. And maybe the next one too. I think the next existence gonna be different. But in this existence, not everybody want good for you. Cause right shoe and shoe. Judas is pretty much cemented in our history. Yeah, Judas is cemented right through with history. Everywhere you look, Judas turn up. Everywhere you look, Judas a stand guard. Ah. And I try to take you out and nobody now look. Yeah, people. So this now. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna get strike for oh on my level. I like those gospel music, right? So I'm gonna do that for delete them out of the YouTube. But you don't know, someone just tell AI if you do that and AI take it out. Right, AI, you know, say AI the first one there all the time, you know. Sure, I don't know enough people. I'm telling you, say, all me here is AI, 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 AI. Them I call AI name more than, you tell know where this I go, this I lead to, you know, but, you know, so nobody no want to stop it. You know, nobody no want to stop it, people. Them just rushing down that path and say, yes, yes, come along, come along. All right, people. So this one is black on black love and unity, a perceived threat to the world. A perceive. All of them big words are people. I'm telling you, say, I don't have no degree in nothing, you know, and I am not a general. Apparently, not a lieutenant either. So, anyways, people, I said these people I'm listen to and I introduce is information that's there for us to go and revitalize, wake up them people and make them people a teacher. But no people don't want to learn and therefore can't teach. Because if you can't learn, you can't teach. Capiche? All right, so this channel is called Redirecting Proverbs. And we say because it's the title is Black on Black Love and Unity. I say, okay, let's explore, let's highlight, right, people? Let's explore ourselves, let's highlight ourselves. So, this one I never watched before, so, and again, me have to, them things I want them good, me watch them over and over. And I suggest you guys do the same thing, people. When you listen to them things, yeah, so you can understand them things, yeah. If there's, let's say, if you don't have so much time to listen to so much unnecessary stuff. When you take 1 hour a day and listen to something, take 15 minutes and write something, create something, and take at least I know I for yourself relax. Take a deep breath in, out. Deep breath in, out. Deep breath in, out. All right, people. So, as we proceed,
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is the day that the Most High has made, and I am going to rejoice and be glad in this day. And I'm going to go ahead and say this for all of us, for all of my people. No weapon that is formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against us in judgment, Yah shall condemn. So, anyways, before getting into this broadcast, go ahead and share the video so others can join into the conversation. If you like our content, like the video, share the video. Also, if you are new to the channel and you enjoy the truth and you ain't got no problems with the truth, you might as well go ahead and subscribe. So, anyway, let's get into this topic, family. Um, I'm going to be very specific in what I'm talking about here right now. As you can see from the title, we are used to hearing when they talk about black on black, we're used to hearing something else, right? But we're going to be talking about something a bit different. Thank you, brother Mr. Soulful, who is gifting all of those with memberships to the channel. I really do appreciate that. Um, Helping to grow the channel, I really do think that that is a noble thing to help to grow the channel. So I appreciate that. Listen, black on black love, we all know that this is what the world fears most. If we are honest with ourselves, the world fears that, right? There's a certain thing that they don't want to see coming from us, and that love is one of them. Unity is another. They don't want, the world can't stand that because they know, I think instinctively, they know that our unity and love for one another represents something different for them. Ugh. I think they instinctively know. Some of them know directly, but there's something or feeling that comes over some of these people when we are unified. This is why there was a technique applied to us a long time ago. It was called divide and conquer. The way our families were set up, the way our lineage were set up, the way the order, the hierarchy in the household was set up, the world has done everything they can do to rip that to pieces, to break away at it, chip away at it bit by bit. They don't want to see black unity or love. To them, it is a perceived threat. Now, I didn't say a threat, is a perceived threat because what the world don't understand is that if we were unified as a people, if we were in the place that we should be, then it can become a huge blessing to the world because the scripture actually testifies and prophesies that when we are in our rightful place as a people, that the whole world is going to be at peace, right? But see, here's the thing that doesn't work for some people because our togetherness, our love, our leadership, our dominance means something different for them. That means that they can no longer have it. They can no longer be the leaders or the dominant, right? This is why I say perceived threat because they don't want to relinquish it. But what people don't realize, and I don't even have to tell you who I'm talking about. What they don't realize, it doesn't matter if you want to relinquish it or not. What did the Bible say? It was prophesied that, and certain translations give you different words. It says some people are going to be rooted out, ripped out. It tripped me out when I saw All of these different translations, and some actually said ripped out. And there's a reason why the Most High said He's going to uproot some people out of the earth, or rip them out of the earth, or tear them from the earth. It's a reason why, because their dominance has represented the destruction of the earth, the planet, the people, everything. And it should be a terrible thing in people's minds to know that their dominance represented all of the frustration and turmoil in the world. You would think that that would make somebody want to repent, right? That's why the Most High said he's got to uproot and rip out, because some people don't want it. Hmm? They don't want peace on earth.
And that's what I said, people. It people have their own. Some people have their own agenda. It's not about unity. It's not about respect. It's not about us bettering, making things better for our next generation. It's about destruction right now. So everything can just be like how it is in the past. This is why I'm saying it's so key for us to understand certain things. We're not gonna change it overnight, you know. And what I say, it's not easy, but it has to be done. We have to understand as we proceed, people.
They don't want peace on earth. They don't want a level playing field. They don't want equality. I don't even have to say who they are. It's so to the point now. This is why I say when the scripture talks about the man of sin being revealed, it's to the point now where you don't even have to identify anybody. You just all you have to do is start talking. I could just sit here and just start talking about things. That's right, Talia. The border of wickedness. The border of wickedness. That's what the Bible say they are. From this point on, all we have to do is just start talking about this, about that. Who did this? Who did that? Don't have to identify anyone. It would automatically click in our minds. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Now, that's not to say that wickedness doesn't come from every group.
Thank you. Ah, people, and that's what I said. Wickedness is wickedness, evil is evil. It no matter who do it, abuse is abuse. How is it okay for you to abuse somebody, right? But then it's not okay for somebody to abuse you. So abuse is abuse, right? Across the board. We're not supposed to hurt. Like, we don't understand why violence have to come into everything. Why does violence have to be part of our, like, such a big part of our existence? Eh? Every day. No. Every day, may I tell you. It's like these news platform, it's a job. Because if them not report it, nobody not report it. But the very fact that them have to report it, it's sad. Every day, every year. That not it just don't seem right to me. That's all. As we proceed.
Come from every group. But when we talk about who dominates wickedness, some people are unmatched. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Some people you can't compare when it comes to who dominates in wickedness. Anybody, anyone who feels offended by what I'm saying, you just might be from that group, unrepentant. But if you are a person who is repentant in your heart, you shouldn't be feeling any kind of way about what I'm saying. It reminds me of what my husband says whenever brothers get offended when someone says something negative about black men or what they do. My husband says that don't bother me because you are not describing me. When you're talking about this type of fellow or that type of fellow or this is going on and that's going, it doesn't. My husband said it don't offend him at all. And so the same could be said for the group that dominates evil. If you just so happen to be a part of that racial group, but you know that's not you, and you know that you've been redeemed or you not redeemed because that's for us. We've been redeemed. You know that you have been um, a new made into a new creature.
Okay, redeem. I don't know. We've been redeemed from what? I don't understand the redeem thing. I could have sworn redeem is when like redeem. I don't know that word the redeem in that sense that we're redeemed. As we proceed, people.
Made into a new creature. The Bible says when you become a new creature, old things are passed away and all things are become new. If you know that you are truly repentant and that you are a new creature, then you don't have no problems when I get to talking about the wicked. Hmm? You have no problems at all because you'll be saying to yourself, well, you're not describing me. You might be describing my daddy. You might be describing my granddaddy or my grandmama. Or you might be describing, but you are not describing me. You might be talking about my ancestors who had all this strange fruit hanging from their trees, but you're not talking about me, right? That's when you know a person is truly repentant when they don't feel this angst in their minds when we talk about the truth. Hmm? They don't feel anxious about it. They don't feel worried about it. They don't feel bothered by it because they know that the truth has to come forward. So, anyway, we're going to get back into the topic at hand, talking about black on black love. This is what the world fears most. And what does black on black love look like? I'm not just talking about relationship between husband and wife. I'm talking about in general. This is why there is so much effort being put forth to just throw a monkey wrench in all of that, to destroy that, to uproot that.
uh, Also, the person who invented the monkey wrench, he never patented a monkey wrench. He patented a wrench, but they turn it into a monkey wrench. Ironic, but because we don't know, then we call it a monkey wrench, right? Who's ever seen a monkey use a wrench before? And what does a monkey have to do with a wrench? Why put a monkey to a wrench? And I'm gonna try to show you sometimes the things where it's created through history. If we don't look on certain things, we just accept it. If we don't look at certain things, we just accept it for what it is. That's just a side note, people. As we proceed.
Monkey wrench and all of that, to destroy that, to uproot that, to interfere with that. Because when our men are loving our women and our women are loving our men, our old and our young are loving each other, getting along together, our communities are joined together in love, peace, harmony, togetherness, all of this, why on earth would that make anyone bothered or upset? Why would that concern you? Why would that interfere with your mental stability because you see black on black love? You do realize something is wrong with you if that bothers you, right? You do realize that something is spiritually deficient in your mind and in your heart. If
But it's true. That man said that one word right there, so should be blasphemy, hate, right? Because how can you hate a person, first of all? And then, second, hating a person because of them skill, them skin, and them skill. Huh? If a person can hate a person like that, then you know it's that person that hate God. Because you can't love God, right, and hate a person. Because that person didn't make themselves. Like, that person never create themselves. And if we're all God's children, right, how can you hate yourself? As we proceed, people.
problem with black on black love and unity. And if you view us as a perceived threat to the world because we're unified or because we love each other, and because we have this really strong spiritual and natural cohesion, something's wrong with you. You should really want to find out why do I feel this way? Why am I bothered by this? I'm going to bring something up real quick. There was something that was shared with me the other day, and I'm going to try my best. Now, I don't want to identify um, exactly who I'm talking about, but I do have to identify one group. So, and I already mentioned this. I'm going to mention it again because it makes sense with this right here. But there was a group of people that were out. It was a multiracial group of people. Everyone at the table were asked what was their preference when it came to dating. And everyone at the table basically identified with the people that they share a racial group with, right? But when it got to the black man, that person that was asking the question was bothered that the black man said that he preferred black women. Now, that's the only racial identity I'm going to give for this story. They didn't care that any other group said that they preferred their women. They only cared when it got to the black man. And so all of these questions started popping up, almost as if he was discriminating for preferring his own. I think y'all know who and what I'm talking about, what group I'm talking about. That shows you that something very, very dark is going on. This is why I'm always saying that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, y'all, but against the rulers of darkness of this world, because they know that there is something very peculiar about Yah's people. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers of darkness of this world, against principalities and powers, and all kinds of spiritual wickedness in high and low places, poking around into our lives, studying us. Why do they study us? Why us? Why are they trying?
Ah, miss, all of last month, all I was doing was highlighting greatness. Two a day. So when you say why do they study us? Because of greatness, because of our unlimited ability, because we're admired, just not by us, This is why I choose you, Miss, because tonight you're talking about a topic that I've been talking about. As we proceed, Miss,
Us. Why are they trying to manipulate us? Why are they trying to get us to prefer or choose them? I want to get into some scripture real quick, y'all. Some scriptures that shows you the state that we should be in, right? Very important scriptures. Very important. I want you to understand how very, very serious all of this is. This all is very, very serious. Huh? Sam says, Black love may bring back the blessings. Yeah, to the earth. Isaiah 14 chapter tells you that. It basically tells you that when our people are reigning again, that the whole earth is going to be at rest. It's going to be like, ah. I love that scripture, y'all. Whenever
people, we just take a deep breath. Yes? Take a deep breath, people. In, out. That's the peace of mind we are search for as we proceed.
look at that scripture and I think about it, I always say, ah. It says the whole world is going to break forth with singing when the Most High's people are ruling again. That hasn't happened. So you know that his people ain't ruling right now. Something else is happening. Something else is ruling. That's right, right, Brother James. Divide and conquer has been one of their strategies. As a matter of fact, that is one of the markers that I was going to be speaking on in this video. They have invaded our countries. When I say they, do I even have to tell y'all who I'm talking about? See, this is the beauty of the truth, right? This is the beauty of the truth. No one can accuse you of anything when you're just simply speaking the truth. They invaded our countries. They invaded our countries. Wow. Do you all see how the truth is? All you got to do is speak it, and it rings true to you. And no one can accuse you of anything. No one can say, no, that never happened. They didn't invade your country, your countries. So then you would ask that person, so well, who am I talking about when I say they? Who am I talking about? If anyone tries to confront you and say that you're not being fair in your analysis, why don't you tell me who they is? Since you know who I'm talking about. Do y'all see how powerful the truth is? Can't nobody accuse you of nothing with the truth. They can't.
Look, all month it's been highlighted. This is what I'm saying, the past, present, and future. Unless we change it. Isn't it ironic? We the over here so I reason with AI. And there's millions of people on YouTube. Billions of people. And I just we over here so. And that's how it's gonna be though. As we proceed, people,
Can't nobody accuse you of nothing with the truth. They can't. But if I can fill in the dots or the fill in the blank, should I say, not the dots, the blank, then that means they're filling in the blanks too. So that means they know the truth. They know exactly who I'm talking about. Thank you, Terzaya. Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual dirta or hat red, and has shed the blood of the children of Yasharel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity, had an end. It basically tells you you're going to reap what you sow. You're going to reap what you sow. Who is the one who shed the blood and had this perpetual dirta? We don't have, all we got to do is speak the truth. Y'all ain't hearing me. All we got to do is speak the truth, and no one can say anything. They can't even point their finger. They can't accuse you of reverse ray anything, because all we're saying is they. We're presenting the facts, and then we're saying they. I got to take a sip, family. Mm, mm, mm. This is why I love the truth so much. The way it is coming forth today, reality speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. That all you have to do is just speak it, and you know what the truth is. Hmm? Now, if you start talking about people who um, have this hat red for one another, and they can't get along as a people, you start saying certain things. Of course, you're going to say, okay, I think you might be talking about so-called black folk. If you start talking about, oh, they have an evil eye one towards another, and they have a crabs in a barrel mentality.
Look, there's so much negativity about us. There's there's so much negativity created against us. There's so much negativity we create against us. It's crazy. Again, I didn't listen to this lady, but when I saw it, I go, okay, that's one of the topic that would be a good topic for us to talk about. Unity of us. How we forget along, How we forget along. Because we don't get along. When I listen to certain things, it's like it's true. We'll never get along. That's a number one. We'll never get along because we don't see each other. We only see brands. You see, if there's a reset where there's nothing. Like there's no brands, no money. And even if there's money, it has to be earned equally. Until that, because let me say, some people escape. They have enough money to escape. But where we are is still the same place. It's still the same place. The same boat. As we proceed,
Mentality. We can pretty much figure that out, because these are the people, they stick together no matter what. As long as they keep the foot on the neck of us, they will work with one of their own enemies as long as they can keep us on the bottom. And again, I said they, as long as they can keep us on the bottom. I don't even have to identify who I'm talking about. Let's get into some scripture, y'all. The state that we're supposed to be in. But before we get into that, I want to share this with you because again, as this scripture reads, I don't have to tell you who I'm talking about. It speaks for itself.
Okay, and then with the scripture thing, like who wrote the Bible? Who wrote the Bible? Who wrote the Bible? So you can't say they and they wrote the Bible and using the Bible. As we proceed, people, again, don't have to agree with everything as we proceed.
Okay? So we're talking about Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50. Now, I'm going to start with 49 and I'm going to read through 51. So I'm going to be reading off here, over here on the side here. Okay? It says, the Most High will bring a nation from afar, from the ends of the earth, to swoop down upon you like an eagle, a nation whose language you will not understand, a ruthless nation with no respect for the old and no pity for the young. They will eat the offspring of your livestock and the produce of your land until you are destroyed. They will leave you no grain or new wine or oil, no calves of your herds or lambs of your flocks until they have caused you to perish. So this is talking about a group of people who aren't going to have any pity for the old or young. And it called them a ruthless people, cold blooded.
Uh, I tell you that if somebody write a book, right? Okay, if me want make oxtail, me I make the best oxtail in the world. I want my kids them to make oxtail. Me I go write a book. Me I go write a book how to make the best oxtail. What me I go do? Just I give it to me pitney them. Every time when I want to make good oxtail, here you go. Read the book. I'm just saying, the book is written for a reason. I'm telling you, so I don't get caught up in a certain thing so deep. As we proceed, people,
Ruthless people, cold blooded, just cold, dark hearts. Someone shared a video with me, and I'm not even sure I can share it on here because of some of the things that were said. But it was one of their youngins from back in the look like the maybe 50s or 60s. And what this youngin was saying, probably in their, they were probably in their, I'm going to say late teens, possibly um, early 20s. To the person asking the question, Benjamin, I was reading from Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and that was the 49th through the 51st verse. Okay, so anyway, this young person was talking, and they were basically talking about us, being around them and all this kind of stuff. And when they asked what was the solution to the situation, and I'm paraphrasing because there was a lot said in the video. They said, "Well, what if this, that, and the third happens?" And they said you would have to just kill them. And I said to myself, man, so they're even they're young people. Their solution is to just red rum somebody. If they feel like you're coming too much into their space, their solution is to just red rum you. And I said to myself, my. When the Bible says we were going to be dealing with a ruthless people, we are dealing with a ruthless people. And I don't have to identify who.
Okay, and again, people, I said, who is a ruthless people? Anybody can be ruthless. May I tell you, we treat each other the worst. The system is set up already. We're in the system. It's policies that make certain things happen. But we're not looking to change policies. We're not looking to create policies. That me said, I am not saying this channel is a clickbait, but I'm saying she's supposed to be talking about black on black love and unity. Are we supposed to focus on what we're supposed to be doing? Because I keep on saying, if we were inside, there's no way somebody can say we're outside. And even if them say we're outside, it's not true because we're inside. As we proceed, people,
Ruthless people. And I don't have to identify who I'm talking about at all. All I got to do is talk. And the Bible says you shall know them by their fruits, right? All I had to do was read that scripture, and you knew exactly who I'm talking about. So there was, it's really a trip. The things that we are being accused of now is the things that have actually been done to us. So I talked about how this group of people have invaded our countries, right? Historically, that's what has happened. But there was a young lady, one of their young women, she was talking about how we are in we are invading their countries. And I'm sitting back saying to myself, wait a minute, I'm buffering.
must have been Donald Trump daughter. Because now we see how Donald Trump a move. See Donald Trump a kick out everybody and then him a give executive order for bring in all of those white South African them a move in. So no voting the man can do anything when he want to do. The system is set up a certain way for a long time. We don't create no system. We don't speak no language. We don't have no organization, nothing. We just live on earth, a born and a dead. So I see it, even though we have so much great people before us, even though we had so much great people before us, as we proceed, people,
Saying to myself, wait a minute, I'm buffering, scratching my head. Okay. So she said, we are invading. So she's talking about the present. So it's like, so do you want to rewind? Do you want to go back a few hundred pages in history? When I say pages, I'm talking about centuries. Do you want to go back a little bit, woman, and see who invaded whose country?
Steven is ready. Okay. I'm gonna say even if I go through the problem 100 times, no solution, it's gonna be the same problem. So even though sometimes it seems like there's a solution, same problem. Because again, black and black love and unity. This situation we're supposed to be creating solutions. How do we counteract this? How do we counteract that? And so people may I learn, may I listen, may I learn, may I understand as we proceed, because everybody have their own agenda. And if it's not unity, It's not the agenda. If it's not love, it's not the agenda. If it's not prosperity, it's not the agenda. As we proceed,
And see who invaded whose country. But right now, they're talking about we are invading their countries. And I'm sitting back saying, what country? Because last time I checked, we were the original people all over this planet. It is what it is. Ain't nobody trying to be mean when I say it. I'm just telling you historical facts. We were the original people all over this planet, including Europe. Uh-oh. See,
okay, and all of them things at Fox, But even though we're there first, we don't own a bank. We don't own like a financial institution that can compete. If me and you want going out any one of them bank there and say, okay, this is my business plan. We can work, set up a business. We have people promote, set it up. Cause I say a bank is just like the front door to businesses, right? When we talk about the church, I say, okay, the church is supposed to be part of the neighborhood. A church is supposed to be connected to the people, them, right? So in the church is supposed to have all, not just the worshippers them, but you have like 40 outgoing semi-preachers, right? Them a go through the neighborhood and them a talk to kids and them a encourage. Them things that cut down the violence, number one, Because if the preacher no mix up in a nothing, right? No funny man thing, right? No Peter Pan thing, no neighbors thing, right? If the church is set up wholeheartedly, it would fix many of the issues them, right? It would fix many of the issues them because if everybody are going to the church, right? And anybody in the neighborhood need like say a roof or something, that money, next service money would go towards that roof. So everybody would okay, Mass Tom need a roof. People would know because it'd be a neighborhood, a community. Everybody would know what everybody need, not know what everybody need and figure use it against them. So when it come to the bank now, right? The bank could be connected to all businesses, right? So the back part of the bank could be business connected. It'd be all of the business them, right? All of the business them will need employees where can be expanded and all of them things there. Because when the bank take your money, you don't know what the bank do with the money. But if there's a business part connected where it would, okay, finance the business them will need help. Well, all right, then this business need to expand. So this person can come in there and them can connected to the business through the bank. So it would be more interconnected to the people them other than just making money off of the people them. So if we did have a financial institution or set up right here, so right, and right beside it is like a business venture to create small businesses and them interact. Which business is gonna be successful, which business need push, which business need to work with the next business. So it would be business network to grow businesses. Because we talk about that already, if open up businesses and have people put them in the position for them to run the company. So some of the things I'm gonna think about, it's not TikTok thinking. It's people coming together with sense right? Sitting down, organizing, everybody get a turn to put their ideas in. Then we take the best ideas out of it to make it work. As we proceed, people come telling us that sometimes when we in a school, it take people to be in the class. So them things here is when you're in a class and you sit down and you reason and you understand. If you say how things is, it's not how it's supposed to be. And if it's not how it's supposed to be, let's see how we can fix it as we proceed.
See, folk don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. The whole planet has been whited out. Hmm? That's right, Brother James. Colonization is his story. So let me ask y'all a question. Did black people go all over the planet and colonize every region of the world? Did black people do that? I'm gonna give y'all some time to answer because I know the chat lags behind a little bit. Did we go around the whole planet and colonize the whole planet? Exactly. Never. No, we did not. Do I need to tell y'all who did go around the whole planet?
Okay, and we probably didn't colonize it, but we influence it. And that's the difference between us. I know all the time influence can work. That's why we have to use strategy. She go full force, she go with the hammer. But what's the sense you broke up the whole place and nobody not live nowhere? People? What's the sense we broke up the whole place and nobody not live nowhere? If we learn to compromise and live somewhere. But we don't want to live nowhere. We're nomads. This is how we haven't end up with nothing because we're actual nomads. We just wander the world. We're not potting nothing. We're not there's nothing. That's why I say all we are is just like a walking laboratory. Because we can create, make anything, invent, innovate. We don't need all of them choppings there of holding down a person and digging out what's inside of them to find out this and dig up this and that. We just make new things. That's all that the whole thing. You know, see how styles for us is. We're unlimited. That's their limitation. Trying to find ways to stop us from being unlimited. That's not gonna happen. Every time you guys create something, oh, you guys set the bar here, we jump over. You guys raise it higher, you jump higher. We're the people who broke color barrier. You guys imagine one race about color barrier. A race that can break color barrier can't be stopped. And that's what I'm telling the next generation. Any race that broke the color barrier can't be stopped. Hashtag. No doubt about it. So yes, even if them are the obstacle, right? Guess what? Obstacles don't stop you from winning. It doesn't. Never did. As we proceed, people,
Do I need to tell y'all who did go around the whole planet and colonize? Do I need to tell y'all who? The reason I don't need to tell y'all is because you already know. And so, again, the truth, oh my goodness, Davida called it a global infestation. Oh my goodness, my. My. The truth is what it is, whether folk like it or not.
okay, people. So That's her point of view on black and black love. Huh? That's her view, people. What I'm doing, right? What's my view now? As we step in at this, yeah. Me say, the best of us is always gonna be the best of us. The best of us is always gonna be the best of us. We're just too nice not to be the best and leave them in a mess. People, we have in an abundance everything. But the thing about us is our set in stone mentality. Everything set in a stone. When it, it's fluidity, we have to flow. Which dance set in a stone? Every remember every week then come out with a new dance. So fluidity. What comes in we stick with the all music where we did have. We've been through that yesterday. Fluidity flowing a one music to a next music to a next music. Huh? People. So I am encouraging, right? Black and black love is to encourage each other to be loved. Black and black love is to encourage each other to love. Love playing the piano. Love. You know, say, me I really get to understand this thing now. As me tell you, say, enough people have their own agenda, you know. Everybody have their own faction. And everybody have their own ideology for carry out or for try to influence other people upon. My ideology is that you have a mind and your mind is great. We are unlimited. So if we are unlimited, we don't have to worry about the things where them worry about. We just have to focus on our greatness. That's why I say for the whole month, me I highlight all of them great people there, you know. I show how great them people there is. Why am I showing greatness? Because greatness exists within us. I tell you, every time I highlight them people, it's like part of me. And it is because when Angie Stone pass off, it's like the feelings what we get, the loss what we get. It's like she's missed already. But too many people, 1 year from now, they're not gonna remember her. That's why I'm there over here, so I'm not gonna do over here some more and more. What them say? You're so better than this, so sir. You're so sir. You're so sir. Better than this, so sir. Wanna hear me? People may have so much highlight for highlight, so much things for we learn and carry on with. And yes, one and two situation are gonna make we feel a way, but that's not what it's about, people. It's about staying on the road and not on the detour. We are great, 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 amazing people. We are great, amazing people. Given the opportunity, given the opportunity, or creating the opportunity. So some love how Burkina Faso are going. And Abraham Tory. People, hear my word now. Remember in time I just start over the Labango the man name. People, anything we practice we get good at. That me say. Anything we practice we are gonna get good at. And me intend to get good at finding, these great amazing people, and that me have to go practice more. These great amazing people meet me and tell me say, yo, watch a man. Highlight me. Because I'm worth highlighting. And I will, because of what? The essence of these people is so joyful. The essence of these people is so joyful. Well, people, I'm telling you about the channel. I'm telling you about that lady channel and where you can find her. Again, you guys gonna listen to people but not agree with everything. Right? So people, I do a part one. I did a part one on Boss Reeve. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna do a part two because this man's story is so amazing. Him a like he's the representative of Lone Ranger, right? Lone Ranger represent him and copy him. We met the Lone Ranger. He was the first US Marshal. I did him last month, people. I'm gonna tell you some story so intriguing and extraordinary. So so I try to share so when it's unity and all you hear when supposed to be talking about unity and all you hear is them, and who is them and them. It's supposed to be us. You can't talk about black unity and love when it's all about them. Black unity and love is all about us. People, I'm telling you, I learn and I understand certain things. You know what I say? But when everything is jumbled and jammed together and everybody's expect, say, well, when you talk about Tom, yeah, all right. Me I talk about Tom. Who is Tom? You don't know Tom? No, me don't know Tom. Well, you're supposed to know Tom. No, me don't know Tom. Well, you don't know Tom. No, me don't know Tom. Everybody know Tom, but me don't know Tom. Well, ask somebody who know Tom. But you know Tom, yes? So tell me about Tom. No, man, you have to find out about Tom. You have to have the patience for teaching. We have to have the patience for teach and understand. So this is Boss Reeves as we proceed, people. So this is gonna be labeled It's still gonna be black on black love and unity, a perceived threat to the world. And from the beginning, I asked what's perceived, right? People, as we proceed.
Forget Clint Eastwood, forget John Wayne, forget whatever the hell this was. The greatest lawman in the history of the Wild West looked more like this. Yeah, a freed slave worked his way up to be a deputy U.S. Marshal who made over 3,000 arrests in 30 years and has more kills than Elon Musk has baby mamas. Not by a lot though, because that's a tough.
I swipe, I swipe swing. People. Sometimes I tell you, say, you just have to listen to them videos, yeah, you know. Because, say, eventually, you see, anytime you win, you don't have to gloat. You just smile. And when me say, good morning, good afternoon, have a nice day. If you have nothing good to share, you can always share a smile. Share a smile, people.
Than Elon Musk has baby mamas. Not by a lot though, because that's a tough number to beat. I'm not gonna lie. Seriously though, here's a clip of an acclaimed historian describing this very man. Straight dog! Yeah, my brother was maybe the greatest lawman in history, and this is true. When he was active, criminals turned themselves in because they were too scared he would come after them. And his name, of course, I can only be talking about the man, the myth, the legend himself. My name is Jeff. I just had to ruin the epic intro. I'm sorry. His name was Baby Reeves. Was born into slavery in July 1838 in Crawford County, Arkansas. His grandfather was Bass Washington, and because when you already have the second coolest male name after Don running in your family, you don't change it because of that. He was named Bass. And since the slave owner who owned Bass and his family went by the name of William Steele Reeves, Bass's full name technically was Bass Steele Reeves. What? 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 How cool is that name? Please, I need some comments on the coolest names in history. I need to know if anything can top Bass Steele Reeves. Also, if any future male hoping to make his name in the adult performance industry is watching this, you're welcome. To be honest, I got carried away. There's no record of him actually adopting the slave owner's Steele name. But hey, you can, in a glorious career in the adult industry. I'll wait too. By the age
Okay, bro. This guy's pretty much a comedian. So, again, you guys gotta. When I did it, I wasn't so excited, but he's got all the bells and everything else. So, I guess we can just enjoy. Right, people? Again, he's talking about who? Alrighty.
a young slave Bass found himself working as a stable hand in Grayson County, and because slave child laborers back then were only complete with two jobs, he was also a blacksmith apprentice at the age of 8 until he grew into a full adult frame of 188 centimeters at a time when the average height was 172 centimeters. And if you use the imperial system, well, first of all, why the hell is that still a thing? Like, but it's not your fault. So here you go. That would be 6'2" at a time when the average height was 5'6". So Bass Reeves was a big dude with a big mustache and some serious muscle. You know, the type of guy women want to be with, and the type of guy where men wonder, what's your brother gonna do to get some steel like you? Well, I asked him.
Okay, so this guy is channel people. I told you is brief brief fed brief fed. Sorry, sir, brief fed. So 10,000 views, 900 and 911 likes. 911 likes. Okay, it's 912 with my like added. Should I leave it at 911? Okay, people, as we proceed.
Want steel like me? Well, it ain't gonna be easy. I've been through a lot, and I've earned my strength. But if you're willing to put in the work, I can show you the way.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know that you could chat with Bass Reeves, did you? But all you gotta do is download Holy Bass from the link in my bio, and you'll have access to a bunch of historical characters to chat with. Not just Bass. Say, you want to talk to Napoleon Bonaparte? He's right there, waiting for you to chat with him.
Bonjour. With Google.
People, I'm telling you, say it's Friday night, right? And when we're in a class, we can just, you know, you're gonna have different students in class, people. People deal with things differently, right? I guess I need to, I don't know. Uh, but me have my one track, me have my one laugh track in time me I do my live them, right? So I don't really need no laugh no more. Bang bang bang. Right, people? Comment section, please. As we proceed, people.
Waiting for you to chat with him.
Bonjour.
Well, pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Basically, any character you can think of, he, she, them, it, they, tree, Pokemon, they're all in the app. And you can also create your own character, like I did with Bass. It's super simple, but super customizable at the same time. And all of this is free, which is which is great because
I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money.
but there is a premium version with some extra features which you also get for free if you click the link in my description to download Polybus and use the code BRIEF55 with a capital B. And there's like Polybus and use the code these videos. So show them some love. But back to the real Bass Reeves. As I said, the
Yeah.
man was a beast, standing tall at 190 centimeters, and Bass Reeves himself was once quoted as saying that he needs a special horse because, and I quote, when you get as big as me, a small horse is as worthless as a preacher in a whiskey joint fight. Also, oddly enough, there are numerous historical references that he had very large hands. So, ladies, a man named Bass Steel Reeves with very large hands. You're welcome.
Naughty America.
But all that
Jesus. People, somebody else is in the class tonight, people, and they're having a whale of a time. Or is it a hand of a time? As we proceed.
Must did was promote him from a farmhand slave to becoming the body servant to his master's son, George Reeves. And why body servant sounds like a description straight out of Diddy's Grindr profile, it actually just means he was George
Bodyguard.
Reeves' companion, butler, bodyguard, his squire, if you will. And while now slaving for George, Bass asked him if he could please allow him to learn how to read. But George said no and allowed him to learn how to handle a gun instead. Funny that they're more worried about a oppressed person getting an education than learning how to use a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. I told you past, present, and future.
This is relevant social commentary for the times we live in. In fact, Bass became such a good shot that George Reeves frequently entered him in prize shooting contests to make some more money off off as slave, and Bass won so often that he was eventually banned from participating.
Jesus, people. And that match I showing, uh, and I forgot, and I forgot Google Neil Armstrong. Ah, and I forgot, go Google, and well, and I just Neil Armstrong. What's your name? The the track star she was using, and then she had to confess that she was Ben Johnson was using. And he had to confess that he was. Yes, so yeah, cheating.
Now, this George Reeves, he actually was so much about that racist life that he was willing to go to war to keep his slaves. So when the American Civil War rolled around, George Reeves fought for the Confederacy. And if you don't use the imperial system, there's a chance you might not be too familiar with the American Civil War. So in a nutshell, half of America decided that slavery is not so great anymore and called themselves the Union Army, fought against the other half of America, the Confederacy, who really liked themselves some slaves, and thus America was divided and went to war over whether to be racist or not. So basically,
Wow, I'm gonna highlight that too because what I like to see, like the people that were still didn't want slavery to continue. Where are those people? Because I mean, and I like say all of them did dead off, and that's part of the problem with the world today. As we proceed, people.
modern America within a year or two. George Reeves was actively fighting against his slave Bass Reeves' freedom, while Bass Reeves had to serve as a body servant in the war, helping his master with whatever he needs to fight against Bass's freedom. That's twisted.
Yeah. Yo, that is. Look at it. So he's committed to this guy who's committed to keep him a slave. So him committed to this guy to keep him a slave, right? He has to fight against the people who are trying to free him. Ugh. Mm-mm. You could make this stuff up, but if you did, you'd be in a round room trying to find a corner. As we proceed, people, twisted for real enough.
Bass's freedom. That's twisted. And you'd think that's a good reason for Bass to tell George to suck his steel, but nah. Bass Reeves was a man of an odd sense of duty and loyalty, and Bass later himself claimed that during the Civil War he even followed George into 3 battles against the people who were trying to free him. But then George, who had since become a colonel in the Confederate Army, then he went too far. Then he did the unthinkable, a thing that no amount of loyalty or sense of duty could accept. George cheated while playing cards with Bass.
That's where the line draw. Ah, mm, mm. Jesus. People, the irony of that though. Oh my goodness. I'll fight with you against everybody who's trying to free me. But the moment You start cheating a card, and that's how the line draw. For the principle not change. It's warped. My goodness. And that's how you draw the line, master. As we proceed.
Unforgivable. So Bass Reeves got up from the table, flipped it over, cards and all, and punched his master in the face and said, "You got knocked the fuck out." And then he probably ran away like hell because he just punched the colonel of the pro slaves army in the face while in pro slaves territory, which had introduced many black necks to nooses for much less. And so Bass Reeves fled into the nearest native territory in what is now known as Oklahoma, but which I like to call Captain Deadpool.
Hey. No, sir. That's crazy, people. So you see me read all the good things about uh, but then we highlighted to find out say the man did a fight against Jesus. The man was fighting against freedom. So he could stay loyal to this man. Who are fight to keep people enslaved. But which part enjoy the line? I when the man are cheating, gambling. Oh boy. I tell you say. May I learn some things, people. Yes, I am learning some things. And I hope you guys are too.
But which I like to call Captain Deadpool. No, just Deadpool, yeah. Which I guess needs some explanation. So here's why I call the lands now known as Oklahoma the Deadpool. After the Europeans were done stealing all of America from the natives, they eventually decided to just send them all to live in one part of America, a part we now know as Oklahoma. The natives were quite literally and sadly pooled into these lands to die, hence why I call it the death pool. All of the remaining natives in the lands, people from 60 different tribes, were relocated here and left to die or live.
Wow. Close. So then let them just shove everybody upon the reservoir. History sick, you know. That's why I'm saying this. This just feel like a loop. It just feels like a loop. This is why them say the past and the future are the same. But nobody now catch on to what that mean. If we don't change it, that's how it's gonna be, yes. As we proceed, people, with Mr. Entertainer.
Well, whatever, as long as they were separate from the rest of America in a sort of out of sight, out of mind situation. This whole genocidal process is now historically known as the Trail of Tears. So, since the colonizers didn't care enough to establish any sort of law here, the natives organized themselves and established their own laws and their own police force within the dead pool. But since they were natives and considered inferior by the people who stole their lands, their jurisdiction ended with other natives. They were only allowed to try their own people for crimes against their own people. And that, in other words, means any white person who commits a crime within the death pool cannot be punished by the law. So obviously, That's paradise for anyone running from the law in the rest of America. And before long, the death pool became home to all kinds of bad.
That is so sick. Jesus, so them just shove all of the people them. So all right. So all them have it now. All of them movie, the Western movie that we watch with, like say the Indian them are the bad guys and all of this stuff. Eh? The people them go there, bad up the people them, have like a overall stance over the people them. But I tell you, say the same thing everywhere. Them control the people them. Them have autonomy over the people them. The people then can't hunger judge each other. Now, if we can't hunger judge each other, you really think so we are gonna really care about each other? We are gonna judge each other so harsh. We're gonna me say, me say. So now when all of the bad man them just go yes go gather up because the bad man them so Jesus past, present, and future at the same. The whole of the bad man them just get up in and them area and the people they can't say nothing because them don't talk. Gee. No sir. Explain so much in people as we proceed.
And outlaws to the point where, out of all the white people who called this territory home, only 25% were non criminal law abiding citizens. And that's the story of
25% of the people that were non-criminal. Everybody else appear criminal, so appear dead body a pile up everything. Murder rate 1400. Past, present, and future, it not change. My goodness. I tell you, so sometimes I wonder about certain things. Jeez. Wow. As we proceed, people.
this is where Bass Reeves sought refuge after knocking out his former slave master, and he was welcomed. He was welcomed by the natives. He lived amongst their tribes peacefully for long enough to become fluent in some of their languages, learned how to hunt and ride a horse like them, and eventually he joined an army unit of natives and former slaves that fought for the Union against the Confederacy. But to be precise, this slave and natives only unit was formed to specifically hunt down natives who were aiding and fighting for the Confederacy. Yeah, there were actually oppressed people who chose to fight on the side of and supported their racist oppressors for the sake of some personal or political gain. Imagine that. Can you believe that? It is a jacket.
More. I Miss Yellow. Welcome. uh, it's this is Boss Reeves. We're talking about well, this is another side of his story. I guess when we read it, I'm never sure say it was so clear. The irony. Well, maybe me did really I never understand it as much as how this man explain everything. As we proceed, people.
By 1865, the war was over. The Union won, but slavery had already been abolished in 1863, actually, and that had officially made Bass Reeves a free man. And since all he knew was to farm and kill, he became a farmer and a killer in the name of the law.
No, sir. People, it's Friday night. This one I tell the story better than how me did tell it.
Discuss the farming part first. Bass Reeves returned to Arkansas, set up a farm, met and married Nellie Jenny, a Texan woman. So, she liked things big and she loved Bass Steel so much that
People, this is educational program still as we proceed.
and children together. Now, that sounds like happily ever after, but remember that we're talking about the South here. This was the land of the former Confederacy soldiers who had literally just lost a war to keep their slaves. And now this former slave was setting up a farm in their backyard. Unforgivable. So even though the war for the freedom of all slaves was won, peace for former slaves in the South only existed for as long as Union troops occupied the South and kept that peace. Once they left, the former slave owners quickly organized themselves and regained power, rescinding many of the rights black people had been given since the war. Black people were forbidden to vote, forbidden to testify against white people in court, forbidden to enroll in school, forbidden to travel freely, forbidden to disobey orders, and forbidden to leave a job without permission. And if any black person did travel alone, they could be arrested and sentenced to forced labor, aka they were slaves again, just with a different name. These laws and others enforcing racial segregation became known as the Jim Crow laws, and the separation between European Americans and African Americans was violently enforced by various white supremacy organizations, most famous of all, the Ku Klux Klan. And down in the South, it was not uncommon to see a black person swinging from a noose on a tree or killed in a more violently creative manner for petty crime or an entirely made up crime. Slavery was officially outlawed, but the lives of black people weren't exactly blissful. So, this is what Bass Reeves and his black family of 12 called home. But it turns out that Bass Reeves had a very particular talent that made him a very important man.
With Google Workspace, apps like don't forget, he knows how to pow people. Again, I this is part two of Boss Reeves' story, and he still has great grandkids playing in the CFL, in the NFL, and in the National Hockey League. So his DNA still exists today. As we proceed,
Made him a very important man.
I'm the best service at what I do. And what I do. You got it. Go ahead. I'm the best service at what I do. But what I do isn't very nice.
The Deadpool and its status as a safe haven and refuge for outlaws and bandits was becoming a problem. And the government wanted to bring these people to justice. So they assigned Judge Isaac Parker to do it. And all you really need to know about Judge Isaac Parker is that he was known as the hanging judge. Two guesses as to why he was called that. Yeah, because dude was packed. I mean, his thing was packed. He liked to hang people. Because criminals don't usually come willingly to their own hanging, Judge Isaac Parker needed a bunch of deputy U.S. Marshals to enforce the law for him. So he appointed 200 deputy U.S. Marshals to go into the Deadpool and try their best to make it out alive. Again, remember that this was no man's land. There was no law in the Deadpool except for the unlucky men of law who were sent there against an overwhelming number of.
so they created this spot now. It's so eerie. This is so eerie. And then them sending the marshal them to murder off everybody. I wonder where they get this script from, people. Eh? This has never been done before, people. This is something brand new. My goodness. No, sir. My part one never as good as this a part two, yeah. No, sir. This a man have the detail down pat. Don't him sending the marshal them fi plant gun pan every but in they not have plant no gun. Then they never have a plant no gun. Ah, oh. People, past, present, and future is never ever gonna change unless we change it. As we proceed, people.
An overwhelming number of outlaws, bandits, natives, none of whom were fans of U.S. deputy marshals, but all of whom knew these lands better than the invading policemen, and all of whom agreed that if you wore a uniform, your target. Going in there as a lawman was suicide. But there was one man who had called the dead pool home for years, who spoke the languages of the natives, and it just so happened to also be a 6'2" war veteran with a shot so deadly that he won so many shooting contests that they had to ban him. And his name was.
Yeah. The man so good, them ban him. The man so good, them ban him from all competition. And guess what they do now? Adams, I mean, Radam. My goodness. Imagine them ban the man all of them time there. I know they give him a badge and them a give him money if you go box up people. Them people are wicked. Them people are. Mm-mm. Friday night. A real movie are going over here, so real life movie people. Wow.
This was Bass Reeves' time to shine. He was made a deputy U.S. Marshal in 1875 and thus began the greatest career of any lawman ever. Now, you really got to picture this almost 190 centimeters tall black giant wearing black boots and a black hat with a serious mustache who had muscles hardened from working on a farm ever since he was 8, was lifting heavy metal as a blacksmith apprentice ever since his teenage years, was a prize winning sharpshooter, served during the Civil
Terminator. Straight up. This year, where they make the Terminator offer. You know what the man describe the Terminator? Ah, my goodness. People. No, sir. The man was Terminator before Terminator. As we proceed.
learned how to hunt from the natives, how to handle any weapon off horseback, and on top of all those physical abilities, the man spoke several languages and knew how to track his prey in the wild. This man was now an agent of the law and hunting down criminals. Bass Reeves was basically like the first super agent. Seriously, dude was an absolute machine. And with all those tools at his disposal, he served as a deputy U.S. Marshal from 1875 to 1907 and made over 3,000 arrests. That's almost 100 arrests per year. And I really want you to think about that. About 8 arrests per month in the death pool, an area so vicious that the law was scared to touch it for the longest time, an area where bandits bounty hunt lawmen. That is what Bass Reeves called his workplace for 32 years, and where he managed to make 100 arrests every single year without ever being seriously injured, but instead putting an estimated 14 to 20 men 6 foot under, which not only makes him the most successful lawman of his time, but also the deadliest.
Yes, people. I'm telling us our Friday night. And this our real hero. You hear me I say? As we proceed, people.
You want specifics. You want examples of his arrests, of his shootouts. Of course, I understand. So let's go over some of Bass Reeves' greatest hits. Like this one time.
At band camp?
Bass Reeves has an arrest warrant for an outlaw gang consisting of three brothers, outlaws known as the Brunter brothers, Bill, Joe, and Jake Brunter. In fact, Bass Reeves didn't only have a warrant for them, he would frequently carry around several warrants going into the dead pool and sometimes coming out of there with as many as 17 prisoners chained up behind his wagon dragged back to their sentence. So this particular time, Bass Reeves was working on any one of his warrants when he was ambushed at camp by three men who held him up at gunpoint. As the leader held his gun to Bass Reeves' head, Bass recognized the three men. They were the three brothers whose arrest warrant he also happened to be carrying around. They were the Brunter brothers. And the Brunter brothers, they also recognized him. He was Bass Reeves. He was said to come in and out of the death pool like some immortal lawman, and word had it that sometimes he dragged as many as 17 outlaws back to their sentence, and yet here was, held at gunpoint, about to die. What a joke. But Bass Reeves, a veteran of countless life or death situations, didn't find it a particularly funny joke and just asked the three brothers a simple question. Say, what's today's date? why, why would a dying man need to know the date? Well, I have to date your arrest warrant if I want to bring you in. Yeah, like a bad movie. Bass Reeves is back.
People, they want to say like a bad movie. No, like a life movie. It's like a life movie because this man was living his life. This man was living his life, people, and end up being a hero. And the man say like a bad movie, brother. A real joke, that for real.
Coldest line, and like some bad movie villains, all three brothers started laughing, or at least the one holding the gun at Bass Reeves was amused enough that he lost focus for long enough that Bass Reeves could use that moment to push his gun away, quick drew his own revolver and shot the three brothers. And then he dated their arrest warrants and brought them in, dead rather than alive. Bass Reeves has an arrest warrant for two horse rustlers, which is just old English for horse thieves, and their names were Frank Buck and John Bruner. While Bass is looking for these two outlaws, he finds himself in parts of the territory that even he is unfamiliar with. So he hires these two local guides to help him find Frank Buck and John Bruner. The two guides agreed to help, but just would ask Bass Reeves to pay them fairly for helping him on such a dangerous mission. The three come to an agreement, and his new helpers guide Bass Reeves towards the last known location of the two criminals. Eventually, night falls, and the trio has to rest. And as Bass Reeves prepares dinner, he notices one of the guides reaching for his revolver. Bass immediately goes into Matrix mode. He jumps towards the man before he can
Jump into Matrix. So the people let me call the Matrix off of this one. Yeah. Message people. No, sir. Mm-mm. What's the one jumping on Matrix? People. This is one of us, people. This is one of us. This is one of us. As we proceed.
Matrix mode. He jumps towards the man before he can pull the trigger, then aims his firing arm towards his accomplice so that when he does pull the trigger and get a shot off, he shoots his own man. Then Bass Reeves pulls out his own revolver and finishes the man off. The two dead guides turn out to be the wanted horse rustlers, Frank Buck and John Bruno.
Psych. No, sir. Well, at least you know this one yeah, what you call it the Judas. Did I call him Judas? I don't think you'd call him to ya Judas. But then to ya one sneaky. To ya one a snake. Me I telling the people greatness within us. For real, you know. As we proceed, people.
Buck and John Bruner. Two wanted outlaws were hiding out in their mother's cabin in the middle of nowhere, an open terrain, so you can see people coming from miles away, and it's impossible to approach for even a group of lawmen without taking heavy damage. Yet here, Bass Reeves and his group of lawmen were, needing to approach to arrest these two criminals that they were hunting. And Bass Reeves had an idea. He ditched his uniform, put on a pair of dirty shoes, dirty rags, a hat with bullet holes in it, and walked 28 miles to the cabin to arrive entirely starved, thirsty, dirty, fatigued, and looking exactly like the outlaw on the run he wanted to look like. He knocked on the cabin door, and the woman who owns the house opens up, believes the story, and is happy to help another outlaw on the run, for she's already giving shelter to her two sons, renowned outlaws of their own. And
So the man oughta use this guys already. The man oughta use this guys. People. Mm-mm. Mm? Wow, this a man I want real Superman, you know. This a man I want real Superman. With the next one here, Sherlock Holmes. Then did have Sherlock. I can't believe the people that make so much character off of one person.
and even take a liking to this black outlaw once they meet him. Any enemy of the law is a friend of theirs, and besides, their group of outlaws could use the help of a man of his physical stature with hands this big. The three trade outlaw stories become friends, and then the two outlaws and their mother go to sleep peacefully with not a worry in the world. And at night, Bass Reeves handcuffs them in their sleep and drags them out the cabin towards their sentence. A man murdered his wife and is on the run. The man's name is Benjamin Reeves. He is the son of Baz Reeves. The U.S. Marshal asks which deputy wants to take the case where there is no way he can send his star deputy to chase down his own son. 63-year-old veteran Baz Reeves volunteers to take the case. He chases down his own son and brings him to justice. That is Bass Reeves. I told you in the beginning of this video that the man is a straight up down. And also, man got paid. Dude reportedly once made $5,000 in a year, which is about $150,000 today. And still, despite his success, despite his reputation, despite his wealth, Bass Reeves still had racism to deal with. Many of his white colleagues within law enforcement thought that this black man was beneath them. And even when Bass Reeves ordered white prisoners around, they would take the prisoner's side and try
So what else is new, people? What else is new?
to pick fights with Bass. They hated the fact that Bass Reeves was so successful and had this reputation of an incorruptible, undefeatable lawman that he was legit this living legend. I mean, the dude was so feared by criminals that
This guy. He does some good stuff on him thing them. Him bring him character them to a lot to and I say this is why I'm saying these people are so amazing. And I said this guy like him still have genes exist today. As we proceed.
Jerry McIntosh got drunk, angry, and decided to drag his wife out of bed, beat her up, cover her in oil, and set her on fire.
Jesus. I'm telling you, say, them people, yeah. So, I that me say, them a spirit, yeah. Where did inner them people? Anything say people have them spirit, that's what I mean. Eh? These people. I think so them people, them, some of them people still have them spirit same way. Who can think to do something like that to a woman? I tell you no.
She didn't die, but
She doesn't care what you low. Oh, do you like what you see? No. You look like an avocado. Had sex with an older, more disgusting avocado. Yeah, not gently, like he was.
he had a dream that Bass Reeves would come for him, and so he decided to turn himself in voluntarily instead. Again, Bass Reeves.
Dog.
Rumor even has it that years later, the famous hero stories of the Lone Ranger were based on Bass Reeves.
Yeah, and I said that before. And that much I show you say, yo, but them wouldn't make Lone Ranger a black man. That would give us too much pride. Wow. As we proceed, people.
That fact is as disputed as it is sad that they then made this Lone Ranger white. Whatever the case, though, black Deputy U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves, he was a star, and that made him a target to be shot down in America that was not used to the idea of a free black man yet. So when a former Confederacy soldier ascended to the position of U.S. Attorney General in 1886, a racially motivated witch hunt against Bass Reeves started. And there was one incident from 1884 that the Attorney General could try to use to bring Reeves down. Bass Reeves is out in a dead pool with a bunch of warrants chasing down so many outlaws that he is traveling with a crew large enough that it requires its own cook. That cook was a man who went by the name of William Leach. One day, while resting at camp, Leach and Reeves get into an argument that they have in full sight and presence of all other crew members who would later give varying testimonies as to what the argument was about or whether it was even serious or just playful banter between two guys. Either way, there was definitely a lengthy discussion between Reeves and Leach, and all the while, Reeves was trying to clear a 45 caliber round that got stuck in the chamber of a rifle that didn't shoot 45 caliber rounds. He was trying to clear a bullet out of a rifle, a bullet that got stuck. Understand? And Reeves was using a knife to try and dislodge the bullet while talking to Leach, and one accidental discharge later, Leach was shot. All witnesses later testified that this was an accident and that Bass Reeves immediately performed first aid and tried to keep Leach alive long enough so that a doctor could arrive. But the cook died. Leach died. Reeves then reported the incident and he never went on the run, for he and all who were present knew and agreed that this was an accident, not a crime. 2 years later, the Attorney General decides to revise this history and charge Bass Reeves with murder, which meant that he could stick Reeves in jail in between many court dates, keep him from working, keep him locked up for more than half a year, while also making him pay for a bunch of legal fees. In the end, Bass Reeves was found innocent again because it was an accident, and he was, everybody agreed. But the legal battle had crippled him and his family financially. Bass Reeves had to sell his 8-room mansion that he very literally had risked his life for in the line of duty for over 30 years, and he and his family had to relocate to a small home somewhere outside of town, ready to leave the corrupt city life behind. Or so you would think. Even after Bass Reeves got stabbed in the back by the system he had served, he returned to duty because that's the type of man he was. A man so loyal to justice that he was willing to bring in his own son and is willing to serve a system that he knows is corrupt because he believes that the cause is greater than its rotten individuals. And so, Bass Reeves continued to serve the law until he was 69 years old. And even then, he only quit due to a kidney issue that would eventually lead to his death 2 years later at age 71 in the year 1910, and thus ended the life of the greatest lawman of all time.
Wow. People, that was amazing. That's an hero, people. I tell you, people. I tell you, say, in a Philly culture, we have so much great people. In a Philly history, we have so much great people. Within all of us, we have so much great people. The trial and the tribulations how we got you. And that make her great, See the man living full life. All through when the man got through, the man still living full life. That was amazing, people. That was a that was a beautiful highlight. That's how it goes sometimes, You have the you know, the low periods and the high periods. Thank you for stopping by, people. Thank you. That was a good story. uh, and it still stay the same. Black on black love and unity. You have to keep on practicing, people. You have to keep on loving each other. People, don't forget to like up the program, share the program, get some more subscribers on the program. So that we are trying to get the channel up and running because these are, I don't know, so them live are nice because are pure sheroes and heroes and educational program in the school with the people in the class. All right, people, I'm out.